Hello, and welcome to another video from 3.5 Archive. Today we're going to be looking at the Luckstealer prestige class from the Races of the Wild sourcebook. This prestige class is based sort of around the concept of karma, or at least the popular understanding of it. You are a halfling spellcaster who curses others with misfortune and steals their luck to give yourself luck points, which you use to fuel some of your other abilities. To be a Luckstealer, you're going to need to have 9 ranks in Profession Gambler, you're going to need to be a halfling, and you're going to need the feat Dalathon's Luck. This is a feat that requires you to have a 13 Charisma and to be a halfling, so you're going to need both of these to get into this prestige class. And it allows you to effectively get a +5 on any one saving throw before you make it, but then in return you get -2 on all of your saves for the rest of the day. So you sort of concentrate all of your luck into one very important saving throw, and then hopefully don't have to make very many more after that, or at least not very many difficult ones. Lastly, you're going to need to be able to cast 3rd level arcane or divine spells, and you're going to need the luck domain if you are a divine spellcaster. Now this is a little bit unclear. It makes it sound as though to be a divine spellcaster in this prestige class you need to be a cleric because you need to have the luck domain, so that would preclude druids and spirit shamans and the like from taking levels in this. As for whether or not that's true, that would come down to a more open interpretation of the rules. But as is, this requires you to be a particular race, which is restrictive, but it's something that is going to be, already geared toward that type of character anyway. You're going to need 1 feat, and you're going to need 9 ranks in a mostly useless profession skill, although gamblers could make quite a lot of money if they were good at it. And you're going to need spellcasting. This prestige class is already geared towards spellcasters, so that's not very restrictive. This is a moderately restrictive prestige class. You're going to need to go a little bit out of your way with skill points, and a little bit out of your way with 1 feat choice. So what do you get from being a Luckstealer? Well, you get a D4 hit die, you get base attack bonus equal to half your level, and you get a goodwill save. So you're going to be pretty much equivalent to a wizard or a sorcerer. You're also going to get 4 plus intelligence modifier skill points per level, and you're going to get a decent, collection of class skills. At level 1, you're going to gain your first ability, which is Curse of the Fate Spurned. This allows you to stare at a living opponent for a moment as a move action and steal a bit of their luck for yourself. Your target has to succeed on a will save, DC 10 plus your class level, plus your charisma modifier, or take a -2 penalty on attack rolls, saves, ability checks, and skill checks for 1 minute. This has a range of 60 feet, and it can't be dispelled, but you can remove it with Break Enchantment, Limited Wish, Miracle, Remove Curse, or Wish. Hopefully nobody's wasting a wish or even a limited wish on putting a stop to this little effect here. This is kind of interesting because it's quite similar to the Hexblade's curse. A Hexblade could come into this prestige class if they wanted to. It would be definitely unusual, but it would be interesting for them to, double up on the curses on an opponent. When you use Curse of the Fate Spurned, you gain 2 points for your luck pool. You can choose to spend points from your luck pool on a 1-for-1 basis to get a luck bonus on any attack roll, ability check, skill check, or saving throw. And you can also use them to power some of your other abilities, such as your Desperate Recall and Fate's Proof class features. And your unspent luck points are going to sit in your luck pool for 1 minute before they sort of dissolve. And the maximum number you can have at any one time is equal to your charisma modifier. So this is already biasing the class quite a bit toward being a sorcerer, or maybe a bard. Bard wouldn't be a bad choice for this. Hexblade could be interesting, although you'd have to come in a lot later when you have 3rd level arcane or divine spells. Beguiler is another interesting option, although that one is also intelligence based, so you would have to split up your stats quite a bit. But right now it's mostly geared towards sorcerers. Also at 1st level you gain Subtle Magic. The spells you cast often do not register with divine magic, so if divination is attempted against one of your spells, they have to succeed on the caster level check against DC 15 plus your caster level. So that's going to be, against detect magic, for example. So this could help you set up magical traps and the like. Magic items you possess still register normally to detect magic and other spells. And assumedly that would also cover magic items you'd created, or magical traps or something like that. I suppose if you were a cleric and you wanted to set up some glyphs of warding, this would be nice at preventing, opponents from finding them with detect magic. But other than that, it's not too useful of a feature. But you do also get that nice Curse of the Fates burned, which you can do pretty much at will, it looks like. So it does take up your move action, but if you're standing still, you can use it and then cast a spell. So, at level 4 is when you get your next class feature. You do get advancements in your spellcasting for most of their levels in this prestige class. You're not going to get it at level 1, level 7, or level 10. So your first level in this prestige class, you're giving up spellcasting advancement for that Curse of the Fates burn, which is quite a strong ability. However, it's possibly not worth giving up a whole level of spells, just given all the versatility that you get from that extra level of spellcasting, potentially missing out on hitting a new level of spells and access to an entirely new pool of them. At level 4, you get Lucky Magic. This lets you reroll 1 die out of every 5 for any spells you cast to have a variable or numeric effect. And this doesn't seem to cost any of your luck. You can just do this. The example given is quite powerful. For example, if you cast Enervation, you'd be able to reroll the 1d4 to determine how many negative levels the spell bestows. That's quite powerful. And if you cast a 15d6 Delayed Blast Fireball, you could reroll any 3 of the 15 dice. And you have to keep the new result even if it's worse. So, if you cast an Enervation spell, which is only a 4th level spell, and you get a 1 on the die, you could re-roll. At worst, you get another 1. Even if you roll a 2, it might be worth gambling, and you have a better than average chance of improving your result, or you have an average chance of improving your result. So this is a nice feature. Also at level 4, you are able to recover energy from a spell you just cast. Once per day is a move action, or twice per day at 7th level, and 3 times per day at 10th level. You can recover a spell slot or a prepared spell. When you do this, you have to pay a point from your luck pool for every 3 levels of the spell. And it's kind of split up, so 1 point for a 1st to 3rd level spell, 2 points for a 4th to 6th, and 3 points for a 7th to 9th. So it sort of rounds up there. If you can't afford to pay the luck cost, you can instead lose any of the luck points you have left and get a -1 penalty to your attacks, saves, ability checks, and armor class, skill checks, saves, all that. The penalty is going to stack with itself and with any penalties from the Fates Proof class feature and Dalathon's luck. So these penalties do all stack, so you can end up quite unlucky if you continue to draw from your pool of luck, so to speak. And this is a nice feature. This does let you get effectively extra spell slots. You would be limited to spells you'd already prepared, but odds are you're playing a sorcerer and you're just getting some extra spell slots. Now, this is nice, but the thing is you already have given up a level of spellcasting to take this prestige class, so if anything, this is just giving you back one of the spell slots that you would have given up, and still not really making up for the lost spellcasting knowledge, new spells that you would have known, and so on. So this feature really isn't doing a whole lot for you except for providing a little bit of a bandage for that wound of losing 3 levels of spellcasting over 10 levels of this prestige class. At level 7, you gain Curse of the Black Cloud. This allows you to spread your Curse of the Fates burned, which is the -2 in attack, saves, and so on for 1 minute, but anywhere within a 20-foot spread. The cloud doesn't affect vision or anything, and it disperses, so it's basically just an area of effect, Curse of the Fates burned. You can do this once per day at level 7 and twice per day at level 10, and for each opponent affected, you gain 2 points in your luck pool. So this is a nice ability. This allows you to sort of, mass hex opponents. You're waiting till level 7 to get this, so odds are you're going to be 13th character level at this point. A -2 penalty isn't going to be that big of a deal, but it can chip away at an opponent's defenses, particularly their saving throws, which might make them more vulnerable to your next spell. that actually does something to them. You also get more points for your luck pool, which is nice. If Desperate Recall was just fueled by your luck pool, then, well, obviously this prestige class would be very overpowered, as it would basically let you have infinite spell slots, it seems like. As is, this isn't the greatest thing in the world, but it is something that you can do as a move action. So you can still do this on the same turn you do a spell. So overall, not bad. And then finally, at level 10, you gain Fate's Proof. 3 times per day, you can force an opponent to reroll an attack roll, or you can reroll a save you just failed. So this is a defensive luck reroll ability. So this can stop a critical hit against you. This can stop a natural 1 on the saving throw against a death effect. This is going to make you pay a lot. You're going to have to pay 5 points from your luck pool. If you can't pay, then you instead take a -2 penalty on all attacks, saves, skill checks, and a -2 to armor class for 1 minute. Which would be quite bad, but it's a lot better than dying. Reroll is going to be very valuable, especially if you were to activate your Dalathon's luck for the reroll. Yes, you could end up taking a huge penalty on saving throws, but if you're smart, you can probably cast a invisibility or dimension door and get yourself out of that situation if you really need to, or if the battle's looking like it's won. Even if you don't, just being able to survive that one crucial saving throw and being able to choose when you get that bonus is going to be very, very helpful. And being able to do this 3 times a day is really excellent, even though it costs luck to use every time. Abilities that let you reroll saving throws are excellent. Essentially it turns a natural 1 automatic failure from a 1 in 20 chance to a 1 in 400 chance. And, even if you do end up rolling worse, if you already failed, this says that, you reroll if you failed, so you failed, and you have nothing to lose. So this is a really great feature. You do miss out on spellcasting again at this level, but for this feature at least, it might actually be worth it. So what should we think about the Luckstealer overall? Well, for one thing, this prestige class's features are very spread out, and they also seem to all be condensed at certain levels. At level 1, 4, and 10, you get some kind of class feature, and level 4 is the only level where you get a class feature and you also advance your spellcasting. Now, as excellent as this prestige class's features are, as luck abilities often are, and the ability to get a, at-will action to curse an opponent, and the interesting, sort of meta currency of the luck pool, which is separate from luck rerolls, which are a mechanic for luck feats in 3.5. As excellent as that is, it's really difficult to justify giving up 3 levels of spellcasting. That means that you are going to need to be 20th level as a wizard to get 9th level spells, and that means as a sorcerer, it looks like you're never going to get them if you take all 10 levels in this prestige class. And unfortunately, that's a deal breaker for a lot of characters. That said, if you don't mind that, this could be a very workable prestige class. It would be a lot better if it was condensed to 5 levels, even if that meant that it came with more restrictive prerequisites. And also, unfortunately, giving up 3 levels of spellcasting really sinks it. With 2, it would be on the edge. With just 1, then it would definitely be tolerable. The Desperate Recall feature seems to be made almost useless by the lack of spellcasting advancement in this prestige class. It makes up for it a little bit, but it really just draws attention to what a gaping hole is going to be left in your character's capabilities. That said, the mechanics of this prestige class are quite interesting, and it's a fairly solid basis for one overall. And if you are not, hiding in greater invisibility, and a lot of monsters can see that, or displacement or mirror image constantly, you're going to still be targeted as a high-level caster, and especially by intelligent foes. So being able to force a reroll on an attack roll or reroll a save is a really great ability, especially 3 times per day. And as long as you're using your Curse of the Black Cloud fairly consistently, and you have a fairly large number of foes to use it on, then you have a good chance of being able to get all 3 uses out of that without having to take any penalty. Overall, I would give this prestige class 4 stars for concept and 2 stars for execution. It would be 4 stars if it was condensed to 5 levels and it missed out maybe 1 level of spellcasting instead of 3. But as is, it's fairly average. You definitely have to commit to it. And It is fun to manipulate luck. It's fun to put curses on others. Unfortunately, it doesn't combine well with Hexblade because you're going to have to be quite high level to be able to take this prestige class as a Hexblade. But it's still a very interesting concept, and it looks like it would be fairly fun to play even though you're going to be reducing your character's power level overall, as there are other ways such as luck feats to get a lot of the best features in this prestige class. For example, you could dip a level into Hexblade, and then you could take some luck feats on the side, and you could probably have something close to Fate's Proof by the time that you are getting to 16th level. So that's going to be about it for this D&D 3.5 Prestige class review. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and so on. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time here on 3.5 Archive.